Salt away these millions.
How they did it isn't relevant, Lewis. Offshore accounts, trust companies. How do people usually salt money away?
Well, I don't know.
Here, read Cryer's biography. Rags to riches, charming fairy tale. Do you honestly think he lost his shirt when one scheme blew up?
Well, if they're so clever, how come they got caught?
Spanish property market slumped.
Well, that's fraud, is it?
No. Look. They raised £5 million from investors on a particular luxury development scheme and claimed they were putting in $5 million of their own money and raising $5 million from the banks. When in fact, they raised the $5 million, then borrowed $10 million from the banks and put in sweet FA of their own. Disproportionate risk for the investor, disproportionate profit for Cryer & Co.
But the market slumped.
Exactly. The banks foreclosed. Investors lost every penny. The prospectus was a lie. That's fraud. 2 years inside for our boys. Well, and of course they claim to have lost everything, hence no chance of reparation. It's convenient, don't you think?
Were all these investors from Spain?
Yeah, Brit expats, that's right.
Bailey is on that phone to his broker. Thornton's got a direct line to the Almighty. I wish we could hear what they're saying to each other.
Oh, I'm sure something could be arranged, sir.
Right, Lewis. Now that you understand, let's go and talk to the Merry Widow.
Hello, hello. Be my guests.
That's great. Thanks very much, Mrs. Cryer.
Pleasure. Good afternoon, Inspector.
Good afternoon.
I think you've got everything you need from me, Paul.
Mrs. Cryer, it's been a pleasure. I don't suppose we could have a few words now, Inspector?
I don't suppose either.
Thank you, Paul.
Right, we'll be off. Rob?
Yeah, if you could take that case, please.
The theory is if you give one lot an exclusive, the others won't bother you so much.
That's the theory. But who'd be dumb enough to trust the press?
Won't you take a seat, Inspector?
Thanks a lot, Mrs. Cryer.
I'll telephone you later. Bye.
Apparently the public like their widows in black.
Your husband's death didn't come as a particular shock to you.
I've been campaigning for his release on medical grounds. I don't believe prison is the place for a dying man, no matter what he's done.
Had you been married long, Mrs. Cryer?
10 years. I was 21. That's right, he was my sugar daddy, and I taught him how to use a knife and fork.
Would you describe it as a particularly close marriage?
Yes, I would.
And you're provided for in the will?
The house is in my name, and it's up for sale. It's mortgaged to the hilt. The rest of our assets are all tied up in the business. If I were a gold digger, Inspector, I imagine I'd be rather disappointed.
And you have no children?
I can't have them.
Is there anyone who might have had a grievance against him, personal or business?
People seem to be jealous of wealth. I don't know. You tell me, why would anyone want to kill a dying man?
For what he'd done, for what he knew.
About what?
Your husband was hardly an angel.
I never said he was. That's why he was in prison. And now he's dead. And I would like to bury his body.
So you can get on with your life.
Are you always so churlish, Inspector? So that I can pay him the respect I owe him. Is there anything else?
Not for the moment, Mrs. Cryer. Do you envy the rich, Lewis?
I could always do with a bit more cash. Nah, I don't think about it much.
She must have known what Cryer was up to all along. Now she's playing for compassion.
Seemed genuinely to have something going between them. From the photos, you know.
Photos. I wonder how much she's getting for her exclusive. Get back onto the prison. I must have dug up the visitors list by now. Find out who was visiting whom and when.
Right. What are you going to do?
Me? I have some serious thinking to do, Lewis.
How's it going, Robbie? What are you doing with the lovely Laura?
Nothing. What are you doing?
Solving the crime, my dear chap. I'll, keep you appraised.
Oh, cheating? Those investors in Cryer's scheme. How do you know they're all expatriates?
It was stated at the trial. See ya.
Who's that bloke? Is he in charge of you?
Oh, no. He's just a cadet. I don't suppose you could do me a printout of all those names, could you?
How much longer is this all going to go on for? It's not helping Mrs. Stevens, you know.
It'll be over soon. Could you just, please?
It is one thing to be tempted, another thing to fall. I'm not denying that the jury passing on the prisoner's life may in the sworn 12 have a thief or two guiltier than him they try. What's open made to justice, that justice seizes. What know the laws that thieves do pass on thieves?
Evening, sir. Hope I'm not disturbing you. It couldn't wait.
Well, what's the problem?
I've got information. It's fascinating stuff. Can I,
Yes, come in.
Ah, Schubert. Lovely.
Do you want a beer or something?
No, thanks, sir.